Hi guys, welcome back to another video. It's very miserable today and I'm feeling a bit unmotivated, so I thought I would take myself out the house for a little bit and go to the garden centre, one of the ones I haven't been to for a while. It's more like a nursery and most of the stuff they sell is all UK grown. So the best time to come is like spring and summer, obviously, because the stock is amazing. But I just wanted a bit of inspiration. However, I have arrived and this is the weather. And I've already done my hair twice today because of the rain. So I'm going to see if I've got an umbrella. If not, I might just end up sticking to the inside, like looking around indoors, because most of it's undercover there. But the garden centre area is open, so I will get soaked. It's looking fairly busy as well, so I don't know if that's because people are using the garden centre or if they're in the cafe. So I'll see what I can do filming wise. I do need to get some house plants. I do have a couple of pots empty where I've moved the house plants around to other places, or I've bought pots and I don't have a plant for them. So I am going to have a look in the indoor section at the indoor plants. I tend to stick with what I know I can look after. I don't like to get too many new plants, and I also don't like anything too tropical because it's not my style anymore. So I might be a bit restricted in that sense, but I will see what they've got and I will take you along with me. If I'm not talking loud enough in this because there's lots of people around, I'll do a voiceover, and later on I will also be showing you my sourdough starter that I've got, and kind of talking you through like what I do with it, and anyone that's like new to like using sourdough or wants to start sourdough starter, then stay watching for that later on in the video. We're going to just do a few things at home today, so it's a very relaxed video and relaxed and chatty, so yeah, hopefully it will cheer you up a little bit. Hopefully it cheers me up a little bit. It's just a bit like, when is January going to be finished? So yeah, but I hope you're all well, and I'm sure you're all looking forward to spring as much as I am. So yeah, let's go. I don't have an umbrella, so this might be a quick one whilst I'm outside, but we'll see what happens. I think I'm going to need a basket, so grab one of those. Looks like everybody's in the cafe most probably, so that's good for me. You can see they've sort of like got all the usual things out for this time of year. Wow, look at these guys. Huge. My snowdrops are actually coming out in my garden. So pretty, aren't they? Ooh, look at the magnolias. They've got their buds on them. They look really nice and healthy. buds on it. Huge flowers. Aha, I've actually found some eucalyptus inside. There isn't any point in getting any at the moment until we've cleared the space where we're going to plant them, but these are the round leaf ones. Oh, I love eucalyptus so much, and I'd like to get different versions of it. And I'd like to find some more evergreen shrubs as well, just to give more privacy in the garden. Look at all these eucalyptus. So many. Rosemary. Oh, I've actually needed a rosemary. I really wanted to get a rosemary bush before Christmas, and I couldn't find one, but I didn't come here, so that would be why. These ones are getting their flowers already. So pretty. Yeah, they get really big as well, don't they? So I need to find a good space for those. Okay, so we must come back for a rosemary bush and some eucalyptus. Okay. They've actually got some really big eucalyptus here. Really tall, really healthy, and they're £45, which is amazing. And I think they've also got the other variant, so this really, oh, look at that, a really fine one. And they've also got another one I wouldn't mind getting, which is Robinia. Can get really big, but ooh, what's this one? Oh, it's a red robin. It's been right, the rain has stopped and I'm outside with you now, so I'm just having a look at nectarines, peaches, lots of fruit trees. Got some of these Christmas trees. I need some of these because I don't have any trees like this in our garden. So affordable. The thing is, they get eaten so easily, so I need to section off the garden before I plant anything like that, which is so annoying. When I say gets eaten, I mean the deer and the monkjack. So many roses, wow, look at that one. So pretty. Just going to go over to what used to be the fern section and see what ferns they've got. Ah, they haven't got them in there yet, so yeah, not yet. Okay, never mind. Let's go inside. No, don't think that's going to be happy enough. Maybe this one. Yes, rated very good. Okay, hopefully I got some good footage for you. I'm now going home. I had a good chat with the owner as well, and I think I'm going to do an order for the garden. I've got some plans of what I want to do, but I need to sort out the area first, and then I'm going to come and do an order and get a delivery, because some of the trees are quite big and I can't fit them in the car or anything like that. So yeah, I'm going to do an order soon, so I'll show you that in the next couple of months. I'm really excited for the garden this year. I feel like I've given up with the garden for quite a few months now, quite a few years to be honest, and I feel like I'm now coming to better terms with it again. I just feel like I've been very defeated. Like, things have been eaten, things have died, and I've kind of lost interest. But I feel like I'm going to try a lot harder this year, and keep everything alive. And yeah, I've got some really good plans that I'm looking forward to showing you. So I'm going to go home. I'm going to have some lunch, and then I'm going to show you what I picked up. Because I picked up a few things in there, and I've been to another shop already, so I'll show you what I brought today. And yeah, and then we'll do some baking and kitchen stuff together. Hey guys, I'm back from the garden centre, and I've got a few bits to show you. Yeah, I'm sorry, we've run out of proper daylight, I'm afraid, so it's getting quite dark out there already. Unfortunately, the lighting probably isn't going to be great, but so I picked up just some sort of essentials like gloves, because I will probably be doing a bit of gardening soon. So these ones are just sort of like waterproof ones. They're literally only a couple of quid. And then my usual ones I like, which are leather, so that if I'm touching any thorns and stuff, my hands are protected. They had an offer for bulbs. To be honest, there's no point in me buying many bulbs at the moment, because of the garden being a bit unorganised, and also the rabbits and the deer and everything just come and eat everything. But I did pick these up, and I don't think I've had these before, but I just thought they were really lovely, and I can plant them quite soon. So when I do get the garden organised, I will pop these in and spread them around, or maybe bunch them in a really large area together. They look like they might spread, so I will probably read into that. But yeah, they'll shoot in August and September. So yeah, really nice. Then they had like a sales section left over from Christmas, and I got these really sweet little bowls. They're like cabbage leaf or whatever, and they were 60p each, literally 60p. That's car boot money, guys. So I picked those up, and I've given them a wash, and they go really well with some plates I recently got. I don't know if I've put these in a video, but I picked these up at a car boot recently. I think that was my last video actually. And like, they are the cabbage leaf Wedgwood plate. So I thought that will look really nice if they're all out together, so we can have like a meal, and then you could put like sauces or dips or whatever you're cooking, you can put the excess and serve them in those. And then I picked up some daff bulbs. Literally this whole bag of daffodil bulbs was £3. I mean, I can't find them that affordable anywhere, and also that is a massive bag. So I've got one lot are the darker coloured daffs, you know, like the traditional yellow and orange, and then one lot have the pale yellow and orange scented flowers. So I will be going in the garden soon and putting those out, and hoping that nobody eats them, nothing eats them. Then I mentioned I've got some plant pots that need using up. So they're sort of in the house and there's nothing in them. So I got myself, I think this is a Dracaena. Can't remember now actually, so I'll pop the name of it on the screen for you, because I probably have got that wrong. He looks like he needs a drink because his leaves are curling a little bit, but I'm quite good at looking after those. I don't kill them, cross my fingers, and I hope I haven't just cursed myself. And I also picked up one of these, which is a calathea. I have killed these before, but I also find them fairly easy than other stuff to look after. So yeah, I'm gonna pop those in the plant pots. I'll give this guy a drink first, and I think in fact I think this one will probably go in my front area. So I'll just give it a drink and I'll take it through and show you. Okay, it was it's looking a bit bare over here. So that looks much better. In fact, I think I probably want it the other way around. I love this basket. I think this is a car boot purchase, you know, for a couple of quid. Some of my favourite, my favourite things in the house are just the things I found really cheap at car boots and stuff. That might be an antique shop. In fact, actually, I think that is an antique fair I went to, and I got that one. Sorry, bit of dust. Yeah, so there we go. That's my little entryway. I absolutely adore this painting that we managed to find last year. And then this is our key drawer. It does need repainting, don't get me wrong, because it's a bit disgusting. And then I keep umbrellas in here in this lovely tall basket. And in here, I got these baskets from H&M, and I just keep dog stuff in them, and random things that have no home. So yeah, I've got a lot of Elsa's stuff in there. They just about fit. So yeah, I need to obviously shuffle them around a little bit, but it's a really handy area, but also just keeps things tidied away. And obviously, as soon as you come in, you always want somewhere to just throw your keys. So instead of just throwing them in plain sight and making a mess, this little unit fits in here perfect and serves a purpose. Plus, you know, somewhere to put our umbrellas. So yeah, this guy is looking lovely. This leaf is a bit damaged, but I will leave it for now because it's probably helping with the light. So doesn't like very much light, no direct sunlight because it will burn it. So I think I'll see how it goes. And hopefully it likes this area. But yeah, it's a bit of a area that needs a repaint very soon. Finally managed to get a cushion. So took us ages to find a cushion that we wanted for there that's custom sized. And yeah, it really needs a repaint in here, but this is such a used area and the storage is used so much here, so I'm so glad we did it. I've got some antique old vintage binoculars in there as well, and then I made this wreath out of wheat from the fields last year or the year before. And to be honest, I don't really bother taking it down for the seasons. I think I took it down for Christmas, but I generally leave it up. Yeah, so it can be a bit of a dumping ground, but we do try and keep it tidy. But you know what? Your house is supposed to be lived in. It's not for show. And it is to be lived in and also to be loved by you. So, yeah, we're pretty happy with it. So that is that. This is my other pot I have that's empty. Again, I got two of these matching from a car boot. They're probably not vintage or antique or anything, but I just really liked them. So I'm going to pop this guy in there, and I'm going to pop it in my bedroom most probably. Looks really nice, the contrast. Yeah, and then I'm going to put those out. There's so many. I honestly can't believe how affordable that was. And they're all obviously, you know, they're absolutely working 100% because they've all got shoots on them. So I've never seen them as affordable as that, but they also had a lot of stuff there. Sorry, I'm talking to you and I've got it pointing outwards. They've got a lot of stuff there that I would actually go back and get. So I had a little look at the eucalyptus, and they've got the English I think it's English. I don't think eucalyptus is English. Well, they've got the large circle leaf eucalyptus that I wanted. They've got the rounded leaf eucalyptus that I'd like, and they did also have the French really tiny leafed eucalyptus, which I've been looking for, but I'm also looking for this eucalyptus. Does anybody know what that one's called? I'll probably do some research, but I'm after one of those trees of eucalyptus as well. So I'd like 3 or 4 types of eucalyptus in the garden. One, so that I can actually pick it myself and use it for vases, vases, whatever you want to call them. Debatable in this house whether it's a vase or a vase. So yeah, that's one of the reasons I would like to have it in the garden. Plus, obviously, it's absolutely gorgeous, and it looks nice. So, and it grows really quickly as well. So they had 2 types I want to get, which I'll go back for and do an order and get them delivered. So I did ask if they would do delivery for me, and they said that they would. So that's great. Anyway, I'm going to get my sourdough starter out of the fridge because it needs feeding, and I just wanted to chat to you about that, really. Okay, I think you're a bit wonky. Hold on. Is it going to fall down? Oh, okay, you're leaning on a box. So I am going to, I've got my sourdough starter out of the fridge. Yes, I have a lot. The reason I have so much sourdough starter is because I can't throw it away. I absolutely hate food waste, and I've been like looking after it, and I just don't want to throw like it away. So if you don't have no idea what I'm talking about, which I had no idea about how to make sourdough starter, I'm not a bread maker, I'm not an expert. I do not know everything. I'm just sharing it because I've really been enjoying doing it. So sourdough starter is literally started by mixing, I think, equal quantities of plain flour and water together. And then you leave it a certain amount of time, and then you add more and throw away some. And you kind of half it. You throw half away and then you feed it. And the feeding part is just you adding flour and water to the mixture. And basically, over time, mine is now 7 months old. Over time, you then feed it once a week. So if it's something you're interested in, I highly recommend researching it first because I don't know how to explain it to you. But yeah, you basically feed it. Now, mine today has a really large amount of hooch in it, and basically really strongly smells like it smells like apple juice in it today as well. I don't know why. So last time I fed mine was like a good week ago, and I fed it with plain flour and wholemeal bread flour, or wholemeal flour, I can't remember, one or the other. So I'm going to do the same thing again today. I am going to measure it in a bowl. So I've just got my scales, put my scales down, and I'm going to put it in this bowl. And that means when I feed it in this bowl, I can then tip it back into a clean jar and put it back in the fridge. So this jar is fairly clean because I did this a week ago, and I'm going to do the same thing again, and it just stops the possibility of any mold building up whilst it's in the fridge. So I try to, every time I feed it, I give the jar that I'm keeping it in, I give the jar a wash so that it keeps it really clean. So I'm now going to feed my starter, and I'm probably going to have to throw some away, or I'm going to have to separate it and use the discard. So the part that you throw away is called discard. I'm probably going to have to use that on something, if not, because if I feel like I can't throw it away, I'm going to have to use it. Now, I've made lots of things with discard. I've made dog treats. So basically, you take the sourdough starter discard, mix it with like flour, carrot, apple, whatever you fancy, and then you bake it and it makes dog treats. So it's been really interesting, like learning about different recipes so that you can make with sourdough starter and with the discard that you're throwing away. But today, main thing is we're going to feed it. So here we go. Right, okay, hopefully you can see me okay because I have you set up on a tripod attached to me. So firstly, I'm going to measure how much sourdough starter I've actually got. So I'm just going to grab a spatula to take it out of the jar. And look at the look at this though. I need to show you this. Look at that. Oh my god, can you see the hooch in there? What you don't want is any mould on top of it. So, see, that is so hoochy. Anyway, let's pop it in and see how much we've got. Wow, we've got a lot. I'm just going to tip that to be 500 grams. And I'm not going to tip any more in there because that's going to be way too much to keep. So this is what it looks like. Let's try and get in the light for you. So sorry about the lighting. It's not great. It's just so dark at the moment. So that needs feeding because it's so hoochy. It's hungry. I really hope I'm describing this properly. And if anyone's a sourdough expert, they are totally going to say to me that I'm getting everything wrong. So I really hope I'm getting this correct. So if I've got 500 grams, that means I would feed it with 500 grams of flour and 500 grams of water. That's going to be way too much sourdough. See, this is what I mean. I really don't want to throw that away. Like, that is really good. I really don't want to throw it away. I'm not sure what I should do. I think I'm going to have to feed it. So I'm going to need some plain flour. I'm just going to grab the ingredients and I'll be back with you. Okay, I've just measured and I've actually got a kilo of sourdough starter here. A kilo. I just cannot feed a kilo of sourdough starter. So I'm going to have to be brave and I am going to have to throw some away. First though, I've got myself another bowl and I'm going to pop some discard in there and I'm probably going to make Elsa some dog treats. Now with these dog treats you can actually put them in the freezer. So if you're thinking like, oh, that's not, they're not very healthy and like that's too much to make her, you can put them in the freezer. So I'm thinking like, I'll just put them in the freezer, My freezer's full because I hate wasting food, but that's life really. I'm going to separate some and then I am going to dispose of some because I'm obsessed. At this point, when you've got like at least a kilo of sourdough starter, do you just open a bakery, I don't know. Okay, so 200 grams of discard. That means I've still got way too much. So I'm going to get rid of some of this and I'm going to feed it. Okay, so I've thrown some away. I don't know how much. So I'm now going to measure it in here and then I'm going to feed it and it's done. And I can put it back in the fridge. Okay. I'm happy if I've got like 200 grams. Okay, a little bit more. Yeah. Okay, so looks like nothing, doesn't it? Actually, do you know what? There's hardly any left. Let's just add that. And we'll just measure it accordingly. 300. I'm going to go for some bread flour, wholemeal, and I'm going to go for some white flour. And let's go for 150 wholemeal. something to do with the protein levels. I don't really remember enough to tell you, but yeah, it's all very interesting and quite complicated. So there we go. Let's mix that. And then we need water. So I'm going to get some filtered water, and I'll need 300 grams of filtered water as well. Okay, so just going to give it a mix as best as I can. I didn't sieve the flour, but I just don't bother because I do try and give it a good mix. So yeah, hopefully it'll be fine. I've just got it in a storage jar because I needed like really big jars, and it's not that normal that you keep this much sourdough starter, but I'm obsessed. I'm so obsessed with it. Okay, so it's been fed. Looks very unhoochy now, and I'm just going to give it a clean and just clean around here, because when it's in the fridge I like to know that it's risen and then dropped again. So if the jar's nice and clean, I can see if it's come up and then it's come down again. So that's what I do. Just give it a little wipe. There we go. And that's ready to go back in the fridge. Now, well, it's ready to go back in the fridge, but actually I am going to leave it out. I think I'm going to leave it out until tomorrow, and I'm going to use it in the morning, and I'm going to start a sourdough loaf in the morning and then bake it tomorrow in between work and stuff like that. So I'm going to leave that out. So I literally just pop a little cover over it. Pop the clip that belongs with the jar just on it like that, and I just leave it there. And this discard I'm just going to leave out, and if I don't make it tonight, I'll probably make some dog treats tomorrow, and I can show you in another clip maybe what they look like and how to make them. So tomorrow, to make the sourdough loaf, I will test if the starter is ready to use by getting a glass of water and taking a dollop of the starter and dropping it in the water. And if it floats and it stays on top of the water, it's ready to use. And if it drops, it's not ready to use. I think that's correct. And that's how I test it. And then I use the starter based on that. So what I'll do, I'll get a mixing bowl and I will pop 100 grams of starter in the bowl. And then I think it's 350 grams of warm water or filtered water, and then let it come up to room temperature. Then I mix it all together, and the sourdough starter just makes it look like milky water, like milky. And then I give it half an hour and I come back to it, and then I add 500 grams of flour, white bread flour. Then half an hour after that, I come back and I add 10 grams of salt, mix it all up, and at that point it starts to feel like a dough, and it will take the salt in, and you can mix it with your hand and it's not too sticky. Wet your hands before. Then I leave it for another half an hour, and then every 30 minutes, I then fold it. So stretch it and fold it, like each corner, like 4 times. And then I do that for how many folds? 4 or 5 folds. Then I leave it for an hour where it will rest, and it will basically rise, and it will come up depending on how warm your room is. And then I will pop it in the fridge overnight. I'll put a cover over it, put it in the fridge, and then basically the next day take it out of the fridge, And if it looks nice and like big and like risen, then I will bake it. And I basically, before I take it out of the fridge, I get my Dutch oven, my Le Creuset dish, my casserole dish, and I basically pop the oven on 250, let the oven get really, really hot, high to the temperature, to the 250 degrees, put the Dutch oven in, and then give the Dutch oven an hour to heat up with the lid on. Then once you've got your sourdough starter bread out of the fridge, you then take your casserole dish out, take the top off, put baking paper in. Do not put your dough straight in your casserole dish, because I've never been able to get it out. I don't know if that's because my dish is really old or whatever's happened to it, but I cannot get the bread out. So make sure you put baking paper in, and then you don't need any grease or fat or anything, and then pop your dough in, score the top as you wish, put your lid straight on and put it in, and then I drop it down to like 230 degrees for, I think it's, is it 20 minutes? 20 minutes. Then I literally open the door, take the lid off, shut the door again, and cook it for another 20 minutes. And then you'll see it's really, after that 20 minutes with the lid off, it's really crispy, and you can tap it, and it's got a really nice, crunchy, thick, like, tap to it. I'm not explaining this very well. When you're on camera, you just can't explain things. And then take it out, put it on a wire rack, and let it cool right down for a good couple of hours, and then you can slice it. So what I've been doing when I've been making a lot of them, I've been slicing them, putting some paper in between, and then putting it in a food bag, labeling it, and putting it in the freezer. And then whenever I want some sourdough toast, I just literally take 1 or 2 slices out, however much I want. It doesn't stick together, and then I just pop it on defrost in the toaster, and it comes out lovely, and that defrosts it. So there's my sourdough story. I hope I haven't bored you with that, and I hope if you're giving it a go, then this gives you a bit more confidence, because I've seen so many people on TikTok like really worried about starting it, and I didn't really think about it. I just thought, like, what's the worst that can happen? Maybe I'll just throw it away if it doesn't work. But now I'm absolutely obsessed. Although I've just done that kilo with you, I am actually now going to film a TikTok tomorrow, because I've got another jar of it in the fridge. So I need to get control of the situation. But anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed today. This weekend, I'm hoping to do a big charity shop trip out. So I'm really looking forward to that. I was supposed to go this weekend, but plans changed. And I also felt like I needed like a weekend at home. So yeah, I really hope you've enjoyed today. If you've got any sourdough starter, sourdough bread tips, tricks, please let me know. I would love to hear about it. I also tried a new flour as well, for crunch, strong flour mix, and it's got malt flakes in it, and it is absolutely delicious. So I mean, it even tells you like how to do a freehand loaf if you want to, or if you've got the dough hook from your KitchenAid, you could just make it like that. To be honest, I've actually never made bread by hand. I've always done the sourdough by hand, but I've also, if it's not a sourdough loaf, I've always used my bread machine, which I can't tell you how much I love my bread machine. I just use it all the time. I absolutely love it. And even if I just feel like making something, then I'll just put it in the freezer, and then I don't have to eat loads of bread. So you can also give it away to people, you know, like if you're going around somebody's, you could always just go around there and take them a loaf of bread. Thumbs up if you like what's going on. Any things that you would like to see, drop me a comment. I'd love to know what your thoughts are, on what you're craving to watch at the moment. And I want to bring positive things, because I think everyone's, there's so much going on at the moment, and I think everybody needs positivity to watch. And I think the more positivity you put out and the more that you absorb, the better you are at being positive. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you next weekend. Take care. Bye.